Welcome to our band, the Orchestra of the Age of Enlightenment's special needs programme that's been running for a year, and we've got another year about to start. What we've been doing is setting up ensembles where youngsters and young people from special needs settings have been joining players from the orchestra and some animateurs and composers to create ensembles where we all create something together. We don't always know where it's going to end up, but interestingly with this project we've all started from the same starting point. Over the last year we've been looking at Henry Purcell's Dido and Aeneas, that wonderful opera which, if you condense it into 4 things, it's about love, it's about witches, it's about sailors, and it's about grief. So what we've been doing is looking at this really old story and exploring it with our students and then asking them, how do you want this bit to work? Where might we go with this next bit? And it's been really interesting to see the results. Some of the things that we're really interested in our band is building up confidence, building up skills, but both for our participants and OEE players, because it's a really interesting way of communicating. When a child can't speak or can't move, or when a child communicates in a different way that one of us might do, it opens up a whole new world of communication. Thinking about our story, we really did have 4 sections of music to think about. In the opening section, we were looking at how Dido might be feeling. She's really excited that Aeneas is coming, but she's not sure, will he love her, won't he love her? And that took us off in lots of different directions. The witches, traditionally in our story, cause trouble. They create a spell and they conjure up a spirit who sends Aeneas away to found Rome. When we get to the moment in our story where Aeneas is about to sail off, we have a really wonderful song from Purcell, "Come away, fellow sailors." And he sails off into the sunset, and as you can imagine, Dido's not very happy about that. At the very end of our story, Dido's really sad, but interestingly in one of our settings they decided to change the story. It wasn't going to be sad, but in fact was going to be a happy ending to our story. So it's another lovely way about how our students can interpret the stories in their own way. In Norfolk we worked at Churchill Park School with 2 groups of really lovely students who created fantastic logbooks which have tracked their journey through their first year. Here our students told the story themselves, and we were passing a microphone which was really encouraging young people to use their voice and have the confidence that they would be heard. Here's some footage of our celebration at the end of the year at Churchill Park, where we had a lot of parents coming to join us, and at the end of it we had a lovely session where we were talking to parents about what they thought, and a lot of them said to me they were really surprised at what the students had created. And one special moment for me was when one parent said, "I'm now going to buy Mark a drum kit." In the celebration at Rosewood School, the school created the most beautiful sensory space which mirrored the world that we've been inhabiting with our Dido and Aeneas story. Ignacio Grimbo and players from the OEE had made some compositions and sound collages with the students, which then Ignacio had incorporated into a soundtrack which was played throughout the time the whole school and their parents came to visit us in the sensory space. And then we had live improvisations at the same time. It was a truly beautiful day. Cricket Green School in London is a place where you will laugh, you will smile, and the children there are absolutely infectious with their enthusiasm. With Anthony Bailey, composer, and other players from the orchestra, we created songs that were really lovely about how beautiful Dido was. And at the end of term, the students performed to everyone in the whole school, including quite a lot of audience participation. In Plymouth, we worked with some older students from City College, together with our partners, the Plymouth Music Zone. And there we had two groups of really different students, perhaps the biggest group of students on this whole project. At the beginning of the year, we worked with Duncan Chapman, and he encouraged the students to make recordings of their work, which were used in our final performance. One thing that we were looking at was the end of the story when Dido was feeling really sad, and we asked the students to tell us the things that they would miss. And it was lovely, the different things they came out with, whether it was my mum, my cat, my violin, or a flower. Another of the recordings we made was a beautiful seascape, which was really calm. We recorded it in an afternoon when there was a moment where we were all thinking about how gentle and quiet the sea could be, but especially before the storm. We also, at the end of the year, started working with James Redwood, and then we created a massive instrumental storm which came in our final performance. One of the things that we adapted from the Purcell was an opening movement, and we used the words, "Don't be scared, your heart is true, the hero is in love with you." Greenmead School we worked with some primary pupils, and across the year explored lots of different ways of making music, and at the end of the project we were joined by Ralph Clarkson, and he became our storyteller and took the whole audience on a journey through our story.
The witches threw evil spells to each other, ready to throw some at Mars and Saturn. 1, 2, 3. And even more evil spells. 1, 2, 3. Mars and Saturn, could you throw some evil spells at us? 1, 2, 3. Can you do it again? 1, 2, 3. And the witches cackled again. And one particularly evil witch cackled. Listen, can you listen? What an evil sounding witch.
So that's year 1. Where is year 2 taking us? Next year, with the help of James Redwood and Hazel Gould, we will be creating a new version of another Purcell opera, The Fairy Queen. We'll be taking our students to perform outside of their setting, part of that thing of building up skills for everyone, but also a really lovely moment of this is that we're going to be including the whole of the band from the OEE. Our band is perhaps the most humbling project that we do at the OEE, and through it everyone can achieve their potential but also find out something new about themselves and about everyone else they work with.